Hello and welcome to Make It Happen with Will Polston. I'm Will Polston. This is episode number 66, and in this episode I'm going to be talking to you about what Albert Einstein called the eighth wonder of the world. Now, progress at this time of year is something that a lot of us are looking for. It's a new year and we're looking to progress in various different ways, personally, professionally, financially. And that progress can be something that's difficult to see when you're the person that's attempting to make the progress, particularly when you look at progress over a short period of time. I mean, I know personally speaking, there's been many a time when I've tried to get in shape and lose fat and get the beach body. I train hard, I eat well. However, I wake up every morning, I look in the mirror, and it doesn't look like I'm changing. I can't see change, but there is change and there's progress. But because it's happening in such small amounts, I don't notice it, and as a result, sometimes it makes the goal that we're working towards seem as if it isn't getting any closer, and we don't see those major signs of progress towards the end result that we want. So quite often we'll quit or give up. And I think that's something that a lot of people can certainly vouch for at the beginning of the year when it comes to sort of new fitness goals and getting in shape and all that stuff. Now, most people will give up at the idea of making small progress. However, the law of compounding states and dictates that the maximum momentum comes from the longer that you're doing it. And this is what Albert Einstein called the law of compounding. This is why he called the law of compounding the eighth wonder of the world. And typically, compounding is a term that's used with money, and it's one of the easiest ways to use as an example to demonstrate to you on the show today. So imagine that you had, imagine that you were a salesperson, right? And you're working for a company, and you were making £1,000 in commission a month. But if I said to you, and that's what you'd been making regularly. Now, if I said to that salesperson, right, I want you to treble it, in a year, it would look quite daunting and potentially unachievable if that's something they'd been making very regularly. However, by making a 10% improvement, a 10% increase a month on the previous month's sales commission, the power of compounding will mean that 12-month commission will be £3,138.43. So it's a significant increase. So you over treble, get a 300% increase by doing a 10% increase month on month, compounded in the space of 12 months. And the law of compounding can be used in all aspects of life: fitness, business, health. The list continues to go on, and obviously it's evident in nature too. But before I go on to share that with you, I just want to let you know that as a result of listening to this podcast, I would love to offer you the opportunity to come and trial the Evolve Network for a 30-day zero-cost trial. Now, if you're not familiar with the Evolve Network, it's a network that I created here of positive-driven, ambitious, like-minded people, and it's an online community, a phenomenal community, where you get access to an event that we run once a month with 2 guest speakers, one of which is a celebrity expert. You get access to all of my online resources in the form of e-learning courses, video courses, PDF resources. There's lots of access that you can get to that. You get access to the private Facebook group with accountability, and you also get allocated your own coach that can support you through your personal development journey. So if you're interested, you'd like to know more, then you can get access to a zero-cost 30-day trial today by clicking the link in the comments, and we'd love to have you involved with that. So if you're interested, please head to the link in the comments and you can get access to that. But like I was saying, the law of compounding can be used in all aspects of life: business, fitness, health, and it's evident in nature as well. So take a water lily, for example. Each day, a water lily will double the water surface it has covered the day before. So if you were to look at a water lily in a large pond for the first few days, visually the progress looks almost non-existent. However, within just 30 days, a water lily will cover an entire pond regardless of the size of the pond. This means that on day 29, the water lily will have only covered half of the pond. It took 29 days to just get halfway. It took 28 days to just get a quarter of the the pond covered, and just 27 days to have only covered an eighth. But then obviously on that final day, it covers the half of the pond. So how does this impact you? Well, the beauty of compounding means that you're pushing yourself doesn't have to change. You select a percentage that you want to increase by regularly, and it doesn't seem as daunting. So as I mentioned a moment ago, a 10% increase every month seems a lot more realistic and achievable than saying that you want to treble where you want to get to within a period of time. In this instance, we obviously use the year. So over the period of 12 months, the results speak for themselves. And just imagine what that can be like over 10 years. So in order to take full advantage of the law of compounding, it's crucial that you have a longer term perspective, as longer term perspective as possible. And this is where your North Star comes into place. So if you've not heard about the North Star before, go back to episode 1 where I talk about the North Star. You'll hear me refer to it an awful lot. Your North Star is your ultimate goal in life, your vision that you see. And with your North Star, you're not thinking day to day or week to week or even year to year. And if you look at people like Henry Ford, for example, he wanted to revolutionize and economize the motor car. Now, not as a goal for a year or even a decade, but for generations to come. Thomas Edison, who's best known for successfully inventing the light bulb, although he was unsuccessful 1,000 times, he continued moving forward with momentum. The law of compounding was evident in his progress, and eventually, of course, he was successful. And the Ford car as we know it and the light bulb as we know it were the end result, but ultimately it was down to that North Star, that vision, and the law of compounding as these visionaries continue to strive towards their North Star. Therefore, having a North Star, your ultimate goal, that long-term goal, is fundamental to getting more done in less time. Once you've identified your North Star, expect to use the majority of your time, energy, and effort in the early stages. It's a bit like when a space shuttle takes off of a launch pad. I mean, there's various different quotes that it said, but quite often you'll see quoted that a space shuttle uses as much as 71% of its fuel to get off the launch pad. Some people say as much as 80-90%, but even if we're being relatively conservative in this example, 71% of its fuel just to get off the launch pad, and the continued forward moving momentum is what enables that compound effect to take place to get out into space. So I would love for you to see how the eighth wonder of the world, as Albert Einstein referred to it, work for you. Let that do the work for you. Identify your North Star. Identify the percentage improvements that you're going to make, and make those regular, consistent improvements, and keep focused on the actions that you're making. So I hope you found this beneficial. If you have, again, remember, you're welcome to come and trial the Evolve Network for zero cost. Use the link in the comments below. We'd love to have you involved as part of the community. I'll also put a link to the brochure so you can read up what it's all about and get access to all of that information, and we'll look forward to having you involved very soon. Until next time, make it happen.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Make It Happen with Will Polston podcast. Make sure you join Will's free Facebook group, the Make It Happen community. Please support the show by subscribing on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, SoundCloud, or Google Play. Share this episode with at least one friend you think would benefit from it, and give Will a 5-star review wherever you download your podcasts. Until next time, make it happen.